Have you ever been in a situation where you were confused whether to hire an in-house team for your digital marketing work or outsource it to an agency? Don't worry, watch this video to the end and you will know for sure. Hi, my name is Sarthak Arora and you're watching RocketTech, and in today's video I'm going to put across some pros and cons of both hiring an in-house team and hiring an agency for your online marketing requirements. So let's start with in-house team. So let's start with pros of having an in-house team in your office. And the very first point that I could think of is high work capacity. So when people are sitting in your office dedicatedly working for you 8 hours a day, 24 days a month, that is a lot of work which can be done in that time frame. Point number 2 could be face-to-face conversation, because a face-to-face communication is very effective and better than phone calls, Skypes or physical meetings which you cannot do every day. And no agency can match the frequency of in-house team, which can be daily or any often that you want. Third point could be deep understanding of your business, because someone who is efficient and effective sitting in your office can understand your business very well and better than an agency. Point number 4, that you will have total control of your marketing and branding communication. So point number 5, that your in-house team can take care of tasks which is outside their work as well. For example, if you have an in-house AdWord or an ads manager who's handling all the ads, and I'm sure your company's ad would not be enough to suffice one person dedicated. So he or she may do some other work as well, maybe client coordination or your process coordination or anything that you can think he or she is fit to do. So these were 5 pros of an in-house team for your digital marketing work. So let's move to cons for in-house team. So the very first point is the fixed cost, their salaries. So no matter what work they do, in which frequency they do, you will still incur their salary every month. So this also brings us to point number 2, that you will have to hire experts of each topic: branding, advertisement, SEO, website, social media. These are many topics, and you will have to hire experts of each topic if you want them to succeed in your digital marketing work. Because a lot of time what happens is that people look for one person who can do everything, and sometimes they also get this kind of person, but remember, this person can only be a jack of all. He can never be master of one. So with this it brings us to point number 3, training cost. So every employee you hire in your company will need to have training, and they will need time to settle down in your company. For example, when I hire someone in my agency, they usually take 60 to 90 days to settle down and have the highest productivity in the team. But before that, it is unfair for me to expect that level of productivity as well. So be prepared to give them at least 60 days to get settled down in your company, which is about 2 months of salary spent in trainings. So point number 4, they can lack outside perspective. To make you understand, I'll give you this example. So I was taking an interview of this person, and this was a time when IGTV was launched recently. And in the interview, I was hiring for social media manager. In the interview, I asked about IGTV, and this guy was blank. He didn't knew anything about IGTV. So he was working in a brand he was working in company and handling accounts for one company, and he wasn't up to date. And you know the reason why people become lazy and they stop learning? Because of the employers. Because when you do not keep them on their toes, they will never be on their toes and they will never catch up on the new trends. So with this, point number 5 and the last point is extra office cost. Guys, if you're thinking to hire in-house team for your digital marketing, you would need at least 5 people. And those 5 people will take space in your office. If you do not have that much space, you will have to put in new space into your office. And in Delhi NCR, on an average, it costs 5,000 rupees per seat, which is about 25,000 rupees a month spent on their office. So with this, I end the pros and cons for in-house team, and now let's talk about pros and cons of an agency. So the point number one for pros in an agency is return on investment. Any good agency like ours is always focused on getting you the maximum ROI that we can in your campaigns. And this kind of a perspective is very much required when someone is running your campaigns. And you might get this perspective in your employee and you might not get that in your employee. But in a good agency, you will be sure that you will get that. Point number two is that an agency can start performing from the very first month. They do not need time to train themselves. They do not need time to settle in your company. Our processes are set. We have an onboarding processes. We have content development process. We have process for everything. And those are proven processes. So we do not waste time in inventing the wheel again and again. It has been invented and we just follow it. Point number three is cost. No matter who you hire in your in-house team, if you do not hire proper people for proper topics or in different fields, you will still end up with a jack of all, and which is not at all productive. Now, in an agency, it is different because we still have all the people in our team. They are managing multiple accounts, so it can be cost effective to you that your social media or your digital marketing has been handled by experienced people, but still you will not have to pay that much amount of money that you will have to spend in an in-house team. And this brings us to our next point, which is you get accessibility to experienced team members. See, any good agency is good with a good team. Without that good team, that agency is of no use or it is not good enough. So any good agency would have at least 3 to 5 years of experience in each topic. When I say topic, it is graphics, it is videos, video editing, your social media management, your content management, your ads management, and SEO management, website development. All these are topics for us. So I am referring to them as topics in this video. So the last point number 5 in the pros for agency is that your level of productivity will increase when you hire an agency because your mind will be out of it. You can outsource your work and literally forget about it because every month you will get reports of what it had been. Or you can also appoint your EA or any kind of coordinator to just keep track of records that we will give you. So usually we for any campaign, we give you performance weekly. And in any content management or SEO work or recurring work, we give you monthly reports. So those reports are very much required. If you do not get those reports from agency, you should ask for it. And this will give you an insight of what had happened in last month and how much and how we have progressed from last month. So these were 5 pros of an online marketing agency. Now we will talk about cons for an online marketing agency. So the very first con of an online marketing agency is that they will not go beyond the scope of work defined in the contract. Though we try to go an extra mile for every client, but sometimes it becomes impossible to do that because client's expectations can raise from this to this very quickly. And that's why the contracts are there. And as compared to employee, they can do whatever you want because they are only limited to 8 hours a day. You can tell them to stop working on a project and forget about it, but you cannot do the same with an agency. So point number 2 is that physical meetings, because you can meet your employees every day does not mean that you can also meet your agencies every day. So you have to limit or you have to set the frequency in the contract itself. So we usually for a consultancy project, we do weekly meetings, and for retainer projects, we usually do monthly meeting, and that's the limit for physical meetings. Yes, you can talk to us on phone, you can chat with us on WhatsApp anytime you want, but physical meetings become a little difficult for us to make it happen. So point number 3 is we can lack on urgent requirements. So please understand, when I say urgent requirement, we have had moments when a client gave us work which they expect us to do in minutes, not hours. And it becomes very difficult for us for few points, for few reasons actually. First reason is, when you have creative work going on in your office, you cannot really stop it and tell your team, okay, squeeze in this small work of a client and complete it in minutes and just go back to normal work that you're doing. It's just not that state of mind. It's because we have to switch from one client to another. When we do that, we have to switch our mindset as well. And so imagine I am working on a piece of content for a client, and if my boss comes in and tell me, okay, stop that for a moment and do this and come back to this, it will be very difficult for me to do it. And also, please understand, the second reason why it becomes difficult is that we align 48 hours of work for our team to do. Like if my team comes to office this morning, they will know for next 2 days what they need to do in their work profile. And if I squeeze in any more work, we'll have to reduce some other work, which is another compromise that I have to do for some of our clients. Fourth con could be that when you hire an agency, you can lose your own personal touch in your marketing and branding activities. Which it means is that obviously you're not writing the copy, you're not writing the articles, someone else is writing and someone else's team is writing. They are in a different perspective of their mind. And it sometimes becomes that, okay, this does not what my brand speaks. So this can happen. So point number 5 is low flexibility. Again, as I told you, when we talk about your scope of work, when we talk about physical meetings, when we talk about your urgent requirements, this is all flexibility. Yes, we do have some level of flexibility in our scope, but that is only limited to some, not much. So to summarize this, if you have good amount of budget at hand to spend on your marketing team, like 1 to 1.5 lakh rupees a month, then you should literally consider the option of hiring an in-house team for yourself. But if you do not have such budget, or if you are looking for a cost-effective manner to do the same job, then you should look for a good agency which can take up all your work and leave you with high productivity. So with this, I end this video and I hope you like it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. That will really motivate me for doing more such videos. And please do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon down below. Thank you so much. This is Sarthak Arora signing off.